Okay, hey everyone, this is the Lockback I've been working on. Sorry, the light everywhere in my house and everywhere in my workshop sucks, you know. Why the hell? Why not? S10 baton. Oh, light, if you're wondering. See if that'll help. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, I've tried to prop this up because I wanna show you the edge of it. So that's why the filming angle's a little funny. Anyway, anyone doesn't know, I found this in your average junk knife box at the local flea market. What is it? I have no idea. Look, the markings on here, if you can see it at all. It just says stainless Rastafari, or whatever that is, which I believe means it's a German steel, but how much you can trust that when you find it in a knife box, I don't know. I like it because I like lockbacks pretty well. Mostly I liked it because the original scales on it had this round aspect to it. Most lockbacks I find, including the Buck lockbacks or the GC that I've got here in my pocket, the 72, they're kind of flat, which is fine. This is a really comfortable knife, not complaining, but I just kind of like that someone had made a knife with a more natural feeling handle, or at least curvaceous. Maybe I just like curves too much. Anyway, problem with it was, well, it was in a junk drawer. It's rusted to hell and full of gunk, and also the scales on it had broken off completely, or at least partly, half off one side and completely off the other. And so I took it apart, rescaled it, put new hardware in it, and actually made, you can't see it on this, but a new locking pin. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, the locking pin I've put in there, despite working it a few different times, I thought I had it, but it's still too tough. Really have to push it in order to get it to open. But I'm hoping with continued use and some more oilings that it'll get better. I've put walnut scales on it as well and polish it up. It's still got a lot more finishing work. I'm gonna have to get a little more. It looks better than that. The light here is actually making it look a little worse, but I'm gonna have to go a little more aggressive with the finishing work to finish up. But well, I brought it in mostly to polish it up and also to bring it to my Lansky sharpener, because while I was finishing up the blade, which has obviously been modified, and I was just correcting it so it had an edging, it had a point again, boop boop, nice and sharp. I actually put an edge on it. I don't normally use sanding to create an edge, and so I was interested in how it works. Not really a confession, because I think most people know I'm not the best sharpener in the world, because there are some severely skilled sharpeners. I notice a lot of people use technologies or more advanced sharpening systems to get an edge, which is great, but I don't have those and I don't intend to buy those. I'd like to get better with stones more than anything. But in the meantime, I say I buy knives with good edges like JK knives, and then I maintain them on something simple like the Lansky. So I just brought it in up here to test the edge, really put a last polish on it so it's as sharp as I'm used to. What I found was that whatever work I put in there while polish sanding the blade, I just went ahead and put a double beveled edge on it, which again you're not going to be able to see on my camera, but I did, and it's actually come out fairly well. Now obviously it hasn't been put through its paces nearly enough. A sharp edge can go away after a little while. We all know that you can have flimsy edges that are very sharp and they go away quickly. So I just set the fire downstairs and I use this to shave off quite a fair amount of wood just to get the fire started for kindling, and it still seems to be pretty sharp, so I was kind of happy with that. What I've got here is it's actually a note card, so it's more card-like than it is paper-like, but I like using them to test. What I found is that it's actually making pretty smooth cuts all the way along the edge. As you can see, you can get finer cuts done on as well. Doing it at a distance like this sucks. There we go. Making nice smooth cuts. And just in case the carb was too firm to actually really tell me much, just went and got some standard A4 paper and it's cutting that pretty smoothly as well. Which is about as sharp as I ever get a knife, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with the way that one came out. I'm going to polish it up here on the Lansky just to be safe, because it still looks a little edgy. I like to make it look smoother. And there it is. Like I say, I've got to work on finishing the polish on these brass parts. And it's probably going to take a lot more use and working the joint and WD-40 probably to oil up that action, because right now you really have to press it in order to get it to unlock. I actually think part of what I did wrong there was actually on the lock button, because I was just sanding away as is my wont. I may have actually taken enough off the edge of the lock button where you don't have as much to press down as you did before, which means that I really have to depress it all the way down to 0 to actually get it to release up here. So that might have actually been what I did wrong. Now I think about it, because the strength of this spring is not bad. It's not hard to press. I just have to press it really far down in order to get it to unlock. So that might have actually been what I did wrong. But again, for a $5 trash box knife that's not going anywhere but in my trash box knife box to use on occasion, I'm pretty happy with it. And still got a lot more work to do to keep me occupied. Alright, that's where it is at the moment. Thanks for looking.